Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here. Welcome back to another episode here on the YouTube channel. I'm blitzing through this because this is not a part of the episode, but I have to show you this. I'm Damo, I'm live with Paulie. Paulie's on Discord. I'm not cutting away.
Whoa.
However, I've never seen this in my life in Football Manager. I've been playing this game for 5 years on YouTube. At least 5. Might be more than that. 2018? Yeah, geez. Okay. I'm old, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm that old, I've never seen this. But hello, Ryan Reynolds has forwarded me. Leeds are in financial crisis and have been brought in to deal with the club's financial problems. All the transfer funding has been withdrawn, and the receivers have indicated they will consider any reasonable transfer offers which are made for club players. So we could go and raid Leeds right now if we wanted to. Don't know if we will. They are $309 million in debt, already lost $57 million this year. They have spent $114 million this season on transfer expenditure, $31 million, and it's only 18th of Sep on player salaries. Loyalty bonuses have lost 109% on that. Big amounts of tax. And they've made no real money back as well. Leeds are in financial crisis. I've never seen that been docked 9 points in the Premier League. Leeds now currently sit on -5 points. I've never seen it. Let's go and have a little bit of a raid, boys. Archie Gray is their best player. We should pick him up. We really should pick up Archie Gray from here right now. Have a look at Archie Gray, boys. Have a look at Archie Gray. You telling me he doesn't get into our backup 11?
Yeah, G, it's a player.
Let's go have a look through this Leeds team anyway. Yeah, why not? Has Dan been transfer listed? He's wanted. Let's just go through the team. Let's just go through the team. Let's see who's picked. This is their goalkeeper. Oh my god. Okay, you as a backup for 9 mil. Right back. I need a backup right back. That's left back. 47 mil. I think he'd be less than that. Wesley Fofana's here on loan. Pascal Struck's probably a bit too old. Roman Everett. English. Worth a scout. Archie Gray. Isaac Johannesson still looks decent at 30. Patrick Wimmer. Roman Van Bommel. Transfer listed. 40 million. Probably worth a scout. Marcus Leandro's here. At 30 years of age. Who have Leeds signed? Mbake, my boy. Throwback, for those that remember. Jared Sabatino. Interesting. How have they lost so much money? Transfer history. We have to have a look for the history. 108 mil. They spent 61 million on Jeremy Nah, never. In my life, they're spending 61 mil there. Spent 54 mil, only made 19 mil. Spent 69 mil, 41. 28, they sold 87 to be fair. 150, this is the season they did it. 155 million. They spent 72 mil on Noah Lang. He's now plays for Orlando City. And they sold him, oh my god, Leeds. 72 million, sold him for 135k.
Far out.
What did they do? Spurs bought him for 50. Somehow fleeced Leeds to buy him for 72. Never got over a 6.8 in the league. 6.87 his first season. Went on a free. They let him go on a free to Copenhagen, then 130k to Orlando City. What have they done? What? They spent 180 million the year before. Sold 156 to be fair. Sold Restes for 100 and something million. They did well there. Wow, I've never seen that before, YouTube. Tell me if you ever have. We'll be live again when we play Bayern Munich. We recap all the results. But yeah, I've never seen this message ever in Football Manager before. Just setting the scene here. It is 12:07 a.m. I'm watching Liverpool's halftime. Just seen Yoda come off injured, which is not good for fantasy. Nunes score, though, from a Yoda assist, which is good for fantasy. Main reason for filming a little part of this episode is I'm about to turn off FM and go to bed for the night, and you guys probably want a recap of what's been going on. So let's get into it. Obviously, you know, we've been here, we've been discussing results, etc. You guys got Barcelona. Obviously, we came with Leeds. It doesn't shock me to say that Liverpool also in administration as well are now in the relegation zone too. I will say about Liverpool's finances that there's probably potential that if they make like 2 sales, they're probably out of this. So, yeah. But I've got 2 save points, and if Liverpool end up getting relegated and are in administration, I'll be the first one to tell you that I am definitely going to do that as a save, as a spin-off. But yeah, since Man City are 20 games unbeaten already in this, since we've last met each other, which is fine. We've already played them this season. We've both got 9 wins, 2 draws. Both those draws for Man City coming against ourselves and Southampton, us and Arsenal there as well. Let's go recap some of the games though. Aston Villa, we won 3-1, which wasn't too bad. Played okay. The game's been telling me to play Josh Herman out wide and play Consigli up front. We made that change against Chelsea, which will come up in just a second. Beat Bournemouth 2-0, beat Monaco 3-0, and then made those changes against Chelsea. And, well, you get to see this one here. 5.81 XG, 20 shots, 11 on target. Consigli through the middle looked insane. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is how we're going to line up. I was on Discord with my mate Paulie, and I'm telling you guys right now, this is definitely not how we're lining up. African Cup of Nations on right now, and if it wasn't, there would be a certain guy playing up front that isn't Consigli and that isn't Josh Herman. As you can see here, a couple penalties for Consigli. Koulibaly scored as well. Another penalty for Consigli here with the Panenka down the middle of the park, which is nice, down the middle of the pitch. And then Josh Herman scoring from the spot. Always nice to see that as well in terms of goals. But there's a 5-0 win there against Chelsea. We then beat Leeds 1-0. And the Cabarro Cup, and then the most FMing 0-0 against Man City. We played the inverted wing-back system. Dominguez made save after save after save, including a 93rd minute save from a header. Like, if we can go to like key highlights and go to the 93rd minute, this headed save deserves to be in the YouTube episode because it was from point blank. It looked like it was all but over, and my word, was it like last ditch. 95th minute. Ball in, Kulamunde from point blank, and Dominguez readjusts and gets up. It is an amazing save to keep 0-0 and to keep a clean sheet as well. By the way, boys, only goal of the game we conceded was against Dynamo, and we actually went 1-0 down against Dynamo before beating them 5-1, which means that, since October, not conceding is massive. We then played Dynamo, as mentioned, and in this game, his name is Mohamed. Now, he's just got away with Egypt. Look how good he is. It's the type of finishes he gets. Like Consigli scores pens and the occasional header or whatever. Herman doesn't score many on a regular basis. He's got 3 in 9, only 3 starts, 6 off the bench. But he's got 10 in 9 starts, 6 off the bench, and 26 in 3 Champions League games. And have a look at the goals he scores here against Dynamo. I then started him up front for the Spurs game. He won 3-0 and he scores a brace. And I just want you guys to see the goals that he scores, right? So we concede here over the top, and Jordan Shaw comes out for it, whatever. By the way, Shaw's played all 3 Champions League games, and now we've got played 3 Champions League games, and we've got Dominguez complaining that he hasn't played enough minutes, but, he's going to play every game moving forward. We then come back in, Caputo, who's complaining about wanting to leave at the moment as well. I've told him that he can go. The players aren't happy with that. Junior's also complained about minutes, but I've decided to play him for the foreseeable future. Joey, Victor, and Zeze, who both play in this game, have both been capped at 19 years of age for Brazil as well now, which is crazy. But anyway, Desiree Dou with a ball, and this is just Mohamed being Mohamed. Right, inside, first touch, doesn't finish, far corner. Herman tries to put that near stick or straight at the keeper 100% of the time. Desiree Dou over the top to Mohamed. And look at this for a run. Just away from goal with the composure to beat your man and come inside. I said it to Paul, and Paul agreed. He reminds me of like Mohamed Salah in Match Engine, but with a right foot instead of a left, and he looks this good. Then have a look at this. 1 touch, give himself half a yard. It's the low drivenness through the keeper's legs, which you don't get that finish with Herman. Herman will stand it up or just try and finish or go around, whatever. He's just convicted in his finishing. Then have a look at this against Spurs. 26 shots, 12 on target, 3 XG compared to their 1 shot, and that's it. Have a look at the finishes, though. And this is the thing that I often I've said about Mohamed, and I think this is when he comes back from African Cup of Nations. By the way, Lozano coming in on his right peg. What a left-back goal. But have a look at the finishes here. So he makes a run through the middle, gets ignored. That's okay. Makes a secondary run now, which he gets off Dedez. And it's the low-driven, on the floor with power, left foot. You don't get that finish from Herman. You don't get that finish from many strikers. You get that finish from sort of Haaland. And then have a look at this. 1-on-1, Herman would miss. just around the keeper with curl, goal. I love it. So what a footballer is Mr. Mohamed. He then obviously went away and I went back to Consigli and Herman up front. And we needed a goal from Jacob Ramsey off the bench in a game we weren't good in at all, but we kept another clean sheet and we won 1-0 here. And have a look at the goal. Sayed finds Cunnington, who still might lead, but being the best centre-back in the world, drives through 4 Newcastle players, cuts it on a sixpence to Jacob Ramsey, and there we are. That puts us equal top at the moment. We have 4 goals over. Man City are 8 goals over theirs. We're actually 4 goals under our XGA, 8.5. We've only conceded 4 goals, which is amazing, and +6 on the goal difference. Yeah, we're incredible defensively. Switching into the inverted wing-back system once we go ahead seems to work so well. And as you can see here, you know, me and City look like we're going to be destined to fighting for the title moving forward. Arsenal probably there or thereabouts. But, yeah, it is what it is. So, it means that when we come back, I've got Rangers to play Southampton, Leeds, Wolves, then Bayern Munich. Obviously, Bayern is the game in this episode, so we'll come back on the Bayern Munich day, and we'll see if Liverpool's still in the relegation zone, if Leeds are still on negative points, and we'll also see if we can beat Bayern. Here we are, YouTube, finally into the match day of, you know, where we're actually meant to be after all the shenanigans with, obviously, Liverpool and Leeds going to administration in the save. Just going to say right now, Leeds have got their balance to only 20 million in debt, which, considering they're 500, 600 million, is crazy. And Liverpool have gone from being $83 million in debt on the 4th of December to now positive on the 6th of December with no apparent feeling. The Gamer 23009, thank you very much for the follow here as well. Since we last met as well, obviously you guys saw me come back at 1 a.m. watching Liverpool on break to give you a recap of how everything else was going in this episode. Beat Rangers 2-1, absolutely dominated. Looked pretty damn decent in this one here. We did go, 2-1 in the first half and did not have a goal, but that's fine. Beat Southampton 3-0. Looked good in this game yet again. Another clean sheet on the cards. I have to be saying Saad Amran is looking fantastic and looking an absolute steal for 107 million as well. And then at lucky last, this was crazy. Leeds, who are on 0 points at the time. Thank you very much for the follow there, Jake. Jake, by the way, a researcher for SI, which is cool. Definitely with the new Unity engine next year, boys. You definitely want to check that out next season. Yeah, somehow 2-0 down to a team that don't even have a point in the Premier League. But we came back and we absolutely went ballistic. And we did come back into that game and win. And then with a mostly rotated side, we did beat Wolves 3-0. And Josh Herman scoring an absolute bullet worthy of being in the YouTube episode. As always, we are live on stream, so links down below. Rotate the camera around. Batista, Buena Herman. Doesn't score many, but maybe he's heard. Maybe he has heard that we are going to be playing Mohamed. For those wondering how Mohamed, which is Mahmoud, but we like saying Mohamed because he's the Mohamed Salah region, how he's going for Egypt. Well, Egypt actually lost. So they need a win to get through the group, or we got him back. So I'm hoping he's going to come back. Dim Sim, good to see you in the chat, mate. How's things? All right, saying that though, big game here against Bayern Munich. Now, Bayern have been absolutely amazing in the Champions League, it has to be said. First things first, in the Bundesliga, they currently sit top on 32 points. They did lose the title to Leipzig, who, of course, are flying at the moment. And my boy Ross Davies isn't on the bench, or isn't starting. What's going on there, Ross? Oh, he's injured, of course. For those wondering how Ross Davies, who came through our academy, is going, I just have no room to play him. Look at those physicals. Yes, he is doing amazing at Leipzig. More importantly, Champions League profile. Look at this. Bayern Munich and PSG have been dominant. Last year's final, Bayern Munich lost the final to PSG, did they not? No, they beat Barcelona. There you go. Bayern Munich themselves, though, have been... Oh, they lost the semi-final, actually, I believe. I reckon they got done in the semi. Bayern Munich in Champions League form, at the moment, are doing pretty well. They drew 0-0 to Chelsea, beat Feyenoord 3-2, lost to Barcelona 3-1, lost to Liverpool 3-2. They've had a pretty tough start, and they lost to Dynamo. There's a world where Bayern don't get through the group here, which I highly doubt. We go Champions League, though, previous years. Semi-final, lost to PSG. Fair enough, Mbappe still class. Won the Champions League final. Lost the semi-final on penalties to PSG. Got knocked out in the quarterfinal. Lost the Champions League final to Leipzig. Wild. Won the Champions League final against Liverpool in a shootout, which we all cry about. Lost the final to Inter. Round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, got beat by United. So Bayern Munich have made, 5 finals? This is going to be a very good test to see if we are ready to win the Champions League. Your team, though, for this game is, of course, Dominguez in goals. We've just been raided, so we're going to show some of the boys, the players we have here quickly. If you want to see a player more in depth to all the Raiders, just let me know after this game, and we'll definitely click on them and give you a bit of history. Best keeper in the world, Bayern Munich, by the way, have been making $190 million bids, rejecting every single one of them. Mr. Robertson at right back looking sensational here. Cunnington through the middle, who is still upset and now wanted by Bayern Munich. Yeah, I do not want to sell you for anything, but I think we're going to be resigned to the fact that he is going to leave, which is a shame. From Ebbsfleet, by the way. Sayed, obviously, we've already seen how much of a monster he's grown into, and Lozano is developing into this role quite nicely at left back. Unfortunately, we do have Koulibaly out at African Cup of Nations, of course, so we don't have Koulibaly, who's been on their radar for a while, and Mohamed is also not available too. So Batista playing in the role. Obviously a fantastic midfielder. I'm happy for him to play in the anchor man role for one game. Dedez on the left-hand side with those physicality. Obviously being German, knows the team pretty well. Desiree Du on the right. Ben Doak there, who's not 100%, but looks not too bad as well. Consigli on the left, obviously Mr. World Class, and Herman up front. My coaches reckon they prefer him the other way around, and to be fair, Consigli did score that hat-trick against Chelsea, so we will put him the other way around. And away we go. Big game here at the Tommy Bamford Park. Obviously, the racecourse no longer. They have bulldozed that built a new stadium. Named them after one of the club legends. Absolutely love that. Let's get into it. Let's have a look at this Bayern Munich side. Obviously, in these big games, we do not press the wingers. Or we do not tightly mark the wingers. And yeah. He's from Wrexham as well. And he's world class. The Grub is in net. For those that do not know, Camille and Matt Ryan, the Australian keeper, do not get along, so we call him the Grub down under. Friend Sender at right back. Obviously, Simic is pretty good and Nasho pretty good. Fairly old side, though. 29-year-old, 34-year-old, 28-year-old. They're all in their prime, which is fine. Alphonso Davies still playing at 33, looks elite as well. First regen here. To be fair, not the greatest, the Romanian in the middle of the park. Nkuna, we nearly signed, wish we did. Xavi Simons looks fantastic at 30 still. Rooney Baji at 28 still looks pretty elite. Musiala at 30 still looks unbelievable. And Goncalo Ramos at 32 still looks elite as well. People on the bench, let's just go through it here nice and quickly. He's not great. He looks pretty class. We're glad he's not starting. He's a bit of a regen. He is a bit of a regen. Not the greatest bench. You can see why. Okay, Daniel Diaz is pretty damn decent. Gavi's here. How is Gavi not starting over this guy? I do not know. But okay. He's Air. William Colliner. They have a very good 11. A couple of decent players on the bench, but not a great squad to be fair. Expected better. Champions League anthem. We play one of the teams steeped in history in Europe. We obviously looking to leave our mark in Europe. We have faltered at many times already. The last 2 seasons, we have put ourselves in difficult situations in the knockout stage. But in the league phase, we've been one of the best teams in Europe. It's going to be Wrexham in the red. Bayern in their away strip in the white and red, which is interesting. I would have thought they would have worn their third kit. And here we go. At the Tommy Bamford Park, probably the biggest game to have at the new stadium so far. I think we're favourites considering it's at home. I honestly will say this. I know AC Milan kept us scoreless over 180 minutes, even though they scored over 100 goals in the league last season to knock us out in the Champions League last year. But yeah, I honestly think we can win this game. Alphonso Davies, Rooney Baji, going on the run. We did not get across. We barely concede any goals, and Desiree Du wins it back, falls back to Simic. And they keep the ball very well here, Bayern. Not in the big game system. At home, I like playing the aggressive 4-3-3. If this was away, we'd definitely be in the big game system. Herman wins the ball. Consigli, the Italian. He's quick. He can hold it up. He's big as well. And he does hold it up. Back to Lozano, the Runda kid. Drives inside onto that right foot. Poor pass, unfortunately, from Desiree Du, which you don't often say. Consigli wins it back. Mr. World Class hits it straight at the grub. And that is going to be 0-0. Capacity at the new stadium is 38,000. And I could probably... That's a free kick. I could probably expand it, which I haven't looked at doing just yet. Frantic start 15 minutes in. We really should have took the lead there with Consigli. But that's fine. All right. Musiala injured. That's good. But Lamour's one of their better players. And now he's on. Probably not good. for a sender as they look to play out. We're good in the press usually. Rooney, obviously not being tight on him, we have to force him backwards. If we're tight on him there, if the fullback gets too tight, he turns and they're in behind. Xavi Simons now, very good for Ben Doak to get underneath. Good press from us. Good shape so far. Do we win it? We do, of course we do. Great shape from the Wrexham boys. Ben Doak now, going on a run. Numbers in the box. Consigli's there. It's 1-0. It's that world-class press yet again. The side-to-side movement of Bayern could not find a pocket. No turn. Batistuta, what a legend. Or Batista, I should say, not Batistuta. It's not the man from Fiorentina. But we lead 1-0. Doak at the front stick. Thanks for coming. And there we are. Consigli gets home. And so far, we've had a lot of chances and away we go. More importantly, we don't concede many goals. So usually when we take a lead, we see it out. PSG beating Liverpool at Anfield. Leipzig beating Barcelona. Leipzig have quite a side in this as well. And as things stand, we've been fairly dominant without having possession, which is something we often do. And so far, approaching half-time, it's 1-0. Desiree Do now. Back to Cunnington, Mr. World Class. Into Sayed, also Mr. World Class. Great ball out to Lozano. Good side-to-side movement. Consigli's there. Dedez made a run from roaming playmaker. Great one too. Lozano loves his right foot. And this is why you train a right-footed left back or complete wing back, because they come inside and score. Lozano yet again finding a goal. Loves a goal from left back. Great little 1-2. Good rate of pass. Herman's very creative from out wide. And that is a finish. Bottom bin. And there we go. They're 30th, which, considering they've made 5 finals in this save, and they're top of the Bundesliga, I will say they have played Barca, PSG, Liverpool, but they did lose to Dynamo as well. We're 2-0 up here. Brilliant. Start in the second half. Off we go. Anyone unfit? Maybe Batista. But yeah. Lozano finds Herman. Sayed. Lozano. Herman. Goes back inside. Looks over the top for Consigli. What a ball. Consigli's in here. This is why we put Herman out wide and Consigli through the middle, because you just get the creativity of Herman, which is a little bit more than what Consigli offers out there. Consigli through the middle is still damn elite. It is now 3-0, 48 minutes played, and we are destroying Bayern Munich here at home. Great ball over the top from Herman. One touch. Top bin. Thanks for coming. Yet again, I'm going to say yet again, I think when we're at home, we're the best team in the world, but we have yet to prove it in the Champions League. We have always faltered in the round of 16. Considering how big of a game this is, I am going to move into the inverted wing-back system here, the more defensive system. Batista, unfortunately, who I would love to keep out here, but to play box-to-box, is dead, so I have to bring in George Davies. For those running George Davies, Wrexham lad from the academy. Absolutely love him. 17 passing, 17 tackling, 18 teamwork, great positioning, great work rate. In he comes. Dennis is going to have to play the role. Doak's playing with an injury, so we're going to bring him off here for Junior as well. And we're going to go with that for now. 3-0, inverted wing-back system. Going to give up a little bit of possession, but we know the 2 inverted wing-backs. Going to block up the middle of the park with the anchor man, and we're going to be okay. Gavi now. Dietz. Simic. Frenza. Simic. Good shape yet again from us, forcing him backwards, but they've got a man over if they go out the other side, which it looks like they will. They're actually quite narrow at the moment, which is good. Good from Robinson. Good shape again, which we generally do. We block up the middle very well in this system. The space is out here for them. Force them all the way back, which is superb. Can we win it high, maybe? Good touch on Lamore. Good ball to Mkuna. Kept it pretty well here, Bayern. There's the turn. That's the dangerous one. There we go. They worked that very well side to side. This probably is a goal here for Bayern when they're in this sort of space. Herman steps on his man, which is good. Great 1-2. Dominguez spills it on the goal line. I don't know what's going on there. World-class Dominguez makes a mistake. It's his 3rd mistake in 5 games, which is very unlike him. That's going to count. That's a goal. He's run back to halfway. That's going to be a goal. Very against the run of play. Actually did very well in the highlight. 3-1. 70 minutes play. We are going to make a couple changes. Joey Victor's going to come in for Consigli, who's tired. We are going to bring in Ramsey to go as a winger out there as well. Lozano's also pretty tired too, so I'm going to bring in Walter, and that's going to be all your changes. Right. Knowing how defensively minded the system is, I do not panic right now. I think we're going to be okay. Personally. We don't often concede many. Bayern are having a bit more of the match momentum, but that's because they're throwing the kitchen sink. This is a system that does very well without the ball because it just sits in and is very narrow and compact. Sayed, Davies, Dedez, and still plays football when we have the ball. And Ramsey staying wide to provide a passing lane. Inside to Dedez. Great ball to Robinson. Jai Victor, great football. There we go. Junior now. Got options inside. Can he whip one? Into Desiree Do. Junior still with him. Junior, Davies. I told you. Don't panic, boys. Don't panic. The inverted wingback system is goated. Do not worry. We block up the middle of the park. We keep our shape. We knock the ball around. The wingers stay extra wide in the system to create the width. And in the end, Davies is there. Mr. Homegrown. That is a finish. It's 4-1. It was never in doubt, was it? It was never in doubt. We have an injury to Robinson. That's actually not good. Potential groin injury. Hopefully not long term. Just going to move Dedez out here, even though it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go into ultra time wasting. We shouldn't really be conceding 3 goals in the last few minutes of this game. Let's hope that's not a long-term injury to Mr. Robinson. 4-1. Good win, though. Good win. Very happy with that. Superb. Let's go and sweat Robinson's injury. It was last gasp, so it's probably like a groin injury. Yeah, there you go. That was dominant. We're through to the next round. Koulibaly winning again, which is fair enough. So with that being said, let's go and have a look. We're already through to the round of 16. What is next? Obviously, we're focusing on the Champions League here because we have not we've not won the Champions League. We won the FA Cup and the league last season. We've got Napoli and some team I'm not even going to try and pronounce next. So we're through. So I'm not going to give you those 2 games. We are in the Cabaret Cup quarterfinal. We've never won the Cabaret Cup. I'm pretty sure we haven't. Nope. What I will do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'll give you the semi-final of the Cabaret Cup because we've never won the Cabaret Cup. So if we beat Brighton, you'll get the semi-final as another episode. If not, we'll probably give you, in and around February, recap this whole run of games. And then, yeah, probably might do Man City because it is looking like it's going to be tight this season, unlike last year, which we blew it out the park. So, yeah, with that being said, see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Give it a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you and goodbye.